In this video, I will be showing you how to repair a chip in black polyester piano finish using a UV light activated catalyst for the polyester resin, which dramatically increases the speed and control of the curing process. A list of all the products I use with links is included in the description. First, mix up the polyester resin with the catalyst. Mix up 1 ounce of polyester resin with a little bit of catalyst powder. Mix thoroughly. Cure a drop of the resin with the light for 60 seconds. Test to see if it is fully hardened. Snap it and see if it makes a nice snapping sound. If not, add a little bit more catalyst powder and repeat the above steps. Since the time of this filming, I measured and found that I tend to use about a 1/4 teaspoon of catalyst for 1 ounce of polyester resin. Small measuring spoons are helpful for mixing smaller batches. Next, add the colorant. You can mix in the colorant with the same ratios that you would normally use with the regular catalyst. You can also add more colorant than normal to get an opaque finish that more closely matches the polyester used on many pianos. The opaque polyester will still cure well. However, for deep fills, you will probably have to do multiple layers if you make it very opaque. And it may be beneficial to cure it for a few minutes instead of just 60 seconds. In this case, I am mixing it up to be very opaque. Now to the repair. Step 1. Prepare the damaged area. Grind down the area and bevel the edges around the damaged area. You can use a battery-powered Dremel or a French curve scraper. In this case, I just used a razor blade. It is also a good idea to color any bare wood with black lacquer. However, for this repair, I actually forgot that step. But luckily, my resin mixture was as opaque as the original finish and did not need any color cut underneath. Step 2. Fill in the damaged area. Use clear plastic sheets to keep the resin in the right shape while it cures. This helps cut the sanding time down because the resin will already be almost level with the surrounding area. If you are doing multiple layers, you may only need the plastic sheet for the last coat. Step 3. Sand it level. I like to use a razor blade to remove excess polyester and then use sandpaper to finish leveling. You can put masking tape over part of the razor blade to be able to more easily scrape it down level without scratching the surrounding finish. If you find that you had any flaws in your polyester fill, like for example a stray bubble, you can scrape a little divot in that spot and do another quick fill in this spot. That is one of the big benefits of UV curing polyester, because then instead of taking an extra hour to fix a flaw in the polyester pour, it only takes a couple minutes. Sand it level using P1000, P1500, and finally P2000 grit sandpaper. Step 4. Polish. Then use your polisher and polishing compounds to polish the area to a high gloss to complete the repair. Here's the completed repair. A few of the differences between UV curing polyester and the normal polyester are: first, UV curing resin cures much faster. UV curing resin takes up to, at most, a few minutes to cure completely. But if you use the traditional catalysts, the resin will take up to a few hours to cure. Second, UV curing resin can be used at a wide variety of temperatures. You can heat it up in the microwave for a few seconds if you want it to be very runny, or you can cool it in the refrigerator or freezer to make it a thicker consistency. When using the normal catalysts, you should not heat the resin above 85 degrees Fahrenheit, and it may not cure at temperatures below 65 degrees Fahrenheit. Third, UV curing resin wastes much less. With the traditional methods, there is always some resin left over in the cup that gets wasted. With UV curing, you can save the extra resin for future use, which leads into the next advantage. The fourth advantage, UV curing resin can be pre-mixed. This cuts out the time of mixing up the resin for each individual repair. This also helps because you will then have resin mixtures that have been mixed to a color that you know will match well. Fifth, it is less toxic. Instead of letting off fumes for a whole hour, the fumes will be gone within a minute. This really helps to keep the smell down a lot. The main disadvantage of UV curing resin is that you have to use multiple layers to fill in really deep damage. However, you can do deep fills using clear UV resin and then top coat them with the opaque colored resin. You can also use a dual cure method by mixing a little bit of the normal catalyst in as well, and then you can do deeper fills. However, I find it easier and faster to just use multiple layers of UV cured resin. More powerful UV lights also make it so you can cure a little bit thicker layers of opaque resin. If you have any comments or questions, please post them down below. Also, look in the description for links to the products I used, as well as links to additional resources for if you're learning about polyester finish repair. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video. Martin Piano Tech.